So, hello everybody, welcome back. I do apologize for all of the delays that have been happening in the past week. I had some serious issues with the open broadcast software, and if you have actually seen my last stream, it wasn't showing actually what I was doing, and because of that I couldn't stream at all. But now I'm back. And if you have watched the last episode, there was a question that whether or not we should continue working on Windows applications or we should start working on actual Android. And based on the feedback that I got, I decided to actually start working on Android. But before I move on to the Android interface and start writing Android programs, I just want to finish the basics of C# so that we know the basics of them, and then we are going to move on to writing Android programs. But I should again tell you that the purpose of this stream is that I am learning C# as well, so I have no idea how it is. I just have some programming background. So I am bound to make mistakes. There are gonna be some hiccups there, but the purpose is that I want to learn it and I want to learn it with you. So I will make mistakes and you can learn from them, and so it will prevent to have the same mistakes as I have. And again, thank you for your support. Thank you for following me. Don't forget to subscribe. And yes, let's start. First of all, for those who have problems installing the IDE, the Visual Studio IDE, this website, Tutorials Point, actually has both the tutorials that I was actually checking up on and going forward with, and also here in the Coding Ground section, if you actually go into it, it has different IDEs for many programming languages. So for example here, when I go into the C# IDE, it will actually open something very similar to what I have here. As you can see here, we have exactly the same kind of layout that was available to us for the console application. And actually whatever I do here, if I have, for example, console.writeLine, and I compile it and then execute it, you see that whatever program we have will be executed and will be shown here. So basically it's exactly like this IDE here, and whatever you write here will also work there. I apologize, I also have a cold, so excuse me, but my sound is a little bit different than usual. So yeah, so this actually helps for those who do not have access to the IDE or are working on different platforms, and also you can actually also code with this on your tablet. That's very convenient in my opinion. But anyway, today we want to work on arrays, and that is why I am going to open search for C# here. And here I have the access to the different parts. We have worked on many of the parts here. Now I want to work on array. Array is essentially a kind of variable. The difference is that with arrays, instead of just having one variable, I have a list of variables all stored into one name. So for example, I want to store 10 different names. But it's a little bit stupid to define 10 variables and then put the names in them. And also for cases where you don't know how many you will have, how many variables you need to store all of the data, we're going to use arrays. Imagine that you want to take 10 numbers. You want to take as many numbers as the user specifies, because you don't know if the user will just want to give one number or 10 or 100. You don't know how many how many variables you need. That's why you're just going to use an array. And as you can see here, instead of declaring individual variables such as number 0, number 1, and up to number 99, this is just a very arbitrary number, you declare one array variable such as numbers and use numbers 0, numbers 1. So this shows the index and shows me which one of the variables I want. So if I have the numbers array, there are kind of elements in there, and whichever element I want to access, I just give an index to it. So if I want to see what number is stored in here, I will just write numbers 2. And in order to define it, I have to define it like this. So there's the data type, for example, string, int, or whatever it is. Then open and close. And this specifies the rank of the array. Okay, the rank specifies the size of the array. So if I want to define a specific size of an array, I have to give it as the dimension, as the rank of the array. And array name will be then the name. And this is an example: double, open, close, the crochet, and then balance. So now balance is going to be an array which each entry, each variable, each part of the array is going to be of the type double. So of course we remember that we are not able to use any of the variables that we define before we have initialized them. And in order to initialize an array, this is the command. So double balance, this is an array of double, a new double 10, which means that I'm going to put this array of balance will have 10 entries. As far as I know, in Visual Basic at least, it was like this: when I write 10 here, the indexes will be from 0 to 9. But 10 will not be part of the indexes, okay? But because I'm not so sure, I'm going to check this very quickly. I'm just going to copy this line. And if I can do this, if I write balance 9 equals 1, and I can write console.writeLine balance 9. If this works, then it means that 9 is accessible. I can use 9. Console dot console dot writeLine balance 10. I don't think that balance 10 will be available because I am going to define here 10. So balance will be probably from 0 to 10. Console.readKey, so that the program stays open after it finishes. Let's check this out. Oh god, my computer is so slow right now. Yeah, as you can see, 1 has been printed, but for the 10 I have the runtime error. So it means that it's not accessible on up to 10, so I only have access from 0 until 9 when I have defined 10 entries. So this is not up to which number the indexes will be, it's how many entries I have. And it starts from 0. Okay, in order to assign values, I have several possibilities. First, I can assign single values to it. Something like I put this value into 0, which is exactly what I tried to do here. I put 1 into balance 9. What else do I have? Okay, I can also put these kind of values into balance. So I am going to have access to, I can put these 3 values into balance, and balance will be probably with the size of 3. So it's going to be 0, 1, and 2. Okay, let's check this out. I am going to put this into there. So now I'm going to write console dot console dot writeLine balance dot count. Okay. I think that balance that count, I know that from Visual Basic. Okay, I need to open and close in parentheses. The count tells me how many entries there are in the array, okay? And as it seems, it does function, so let me try this. Dot read key. Let me try this. Yes, 3, which says that I have 3 values now in here. So the 3 values are stored in the balance here, and I can actually access them, and I can actually print them. And in order to print them, of course, because basically, generally, I don't know how many there are, I need to iterate through the array and print out each value individually. So in order to iterate through them, because it's going to be a repetitive command for many times, I am going to need the for loop, of course. So for int I equals 0 until I is smaller, balance that count. The reason why I said it's smaller, this was the escape condition. So when this one is not true anymore, I need to go out. If right now count will be 3 because there are 3 values in it. So if I is 2, this condition is still true, so it goes into the loop. But if I gets 3, I will have the error because the only possible values for the index right now are going to be 0, 1, and 2. That's why it is only smaller than balance than count and not smaller equal balance than count. And the iterator will be I++ because the increment value will be I++. The thing is that in C#, if your command for a block is the things that are between these two eyebrows, if the command for one block is just 1 line long, you don't need to write this. So if I write here console.writeLine balance I, okay, this is exactly equal to this, because this is just 1 line. This will be part of this block, but this line is not part of this block anymore. So this will be the only line that is going to be iterated through. But I prefer to always write these eyebrows, okay, because of readability. It makes it easier to read. You don't need to pay attention to, okay, if this is just 1 line, which line it's going to be. And with this, it's just better for me, but it's up to your preference. If you don't want, you can skip this and just don't write it, and it will be counted as the same. So what this program essentially does is that right now here, I'm going to iterate through the values of balance, and everything will be printed out into the console, okay? Let's check this out. As you can see, all of the values which are stored in balance are printed out. And if I add another value to it, it will automatically print it out. The reason being is that, of course, I am not putting here a static number. I'm putting here that look at the size of the array and then print it out. And that's why I used the balance.count and I didn't write just 2. So that if the value changes, this will change automatically and dynamically with it. So, of course, there are different ways as it seems to initialize. This is also a possibility to initialize these, and these are basically the same. And also, this is a possibility to not write the value. Probably I will use this. This seems to be the most straightforward, actually. You can copy an array variable into another target array variable. In such case, both the target and source point to the same memory location. Okay, this is a very important part. If you remember, we talked a little bit about the variables that are pointing to the part of the memory. It is, we will also later see when we are working on pointer, that this balance itself is a pointer. It just shows where the array starts. But this one, with the I in it, this is not a pointer anymore, okay? This is the actual value of it. The thing is that if I have a line like this, if I have a line like this, um, the thing that's going to happen, I'm actually going to show it to you. The thing that's actually going to happen is that if I change right now either score or marks, doesn't matter, both of them are going to change. It's not that this value is going to be copied into this value like before, because before, when I had this, I for example have int test1 equals 1, then I say int test2 equals 2, and then I say test1 equals 3. Test2 equals test1, okay? And now I say test1 equals 3, okay? And now I'm going to say console.writeLine test1 and console.writeLine test2, okay? So, what will happen here is that 1 will be put into test1, 1 is then the value of test1, the value will be copied into test2. Now, I change the value of test1, but test2 stays the same. So if I print this, I expect to see first 1, to first see 3, because this is the value of test1, and test2 will have the value of 1, which will be copied into here, okay? As you can see, I see 3 and 1. But here, if I say, right now, marks are these value, I put marks into score, but it's not going to be copied. So if I say mark, for example 2, which is going to be this value, equals, mark 2 equals 10, then I'm going to print out all the values of both mark and score. So for int I equals 0 until I is smaller than marks that count, and the incremental value is I++. I want to write then console.writeLine marks and I, okay? But in order to make it a little bit more readable, I'm going to do it like this, that I'm going to, oh, I forgot to put the parenthesis here. That's why I have the error. Here I have the parenthesis, and I'm going to say mark plus I plus 1. The reason that I write I plus 1 is because I is going to start from 0, but I want to write mark 1, mark 2, mark 3, plus colon, and then the actual mark value, okay? Okay, I forget the plus here. So, I need to copy-paste this again. The reason why I need to write int I again is because we had something like a scope. Scope was where the variable actually will still exist. Here the I has the scope of only this block, so it only exists in this block. When the code comes outside of here, it will be completely destroyed. So here if I say I equals 1, okay, as you can see, it didn't even let me to do that. I equals 1, it will say that I doesn't exist. You see, the I doesn't exist. But if I actually use int I equals 0 here, okay, I will get an error, because here I have already defined I, and here I cannot redefine I. I cannot define I 2 times. So anyway, and this is going to be score. I want this to be score. And here I have also score. And here will be also score, okay? I'm going to delete this. So we saw that for normal variables, the value is copied, okay? But here, right now, as you can see, the value was not copied. As you can see, when I changed marks, okay, we expected mark to change. But we didn't expect score to change, okay? But score changed nonetheless. But there must be a possibility to how I can actually copy the values and not copy the address, okay? And let's see what we have here. What functions we have. Oh, look, here we have a function clone, okay? Let's see. Clone says creates a shallow copy of the array. This actually might work. Okay, let's see. Clone, open and close. There's an error. Cannot implicitly convert type object to int. Okay, it says that clone actually returns object as the result of the function, but score is not an object. Okay, it's an int array. That's why I'm going to try to cast it into int array. Let's see if this works. Oh, the error is gone. Okay. Let's see if this actually works. So if this actually works right now, we are going to expect to see the value of marks changed, but score should stay the same. Let's see. Oh yeah, it worked. Okay. Who knew? Look here. Mark has the value 10 because I changed mark, but score has not the value changed because for score it's just a clone. It's exactly the same values, but even though the values are the same, they are not linked. It's not the same address. But I saw also another function. It was copy2. Okay, let's see how that works. Let's see, marks.copy2 copies all the elements of the current one-dimensional array to the specified one-dimensional array starting at the specified destination array index. The index is specified as a 32-bit integer. Okay, as it seems, this doesn't return anything. As you can see here, we have void, but it's trying to copy whatever is in marks into the array that I'm going to give in here, and it's going to start from the index I'm going to define. So in order to use it, it will probably be like this. Okay, let's see. I'm going to say marks.copy2. I want everything from marks copied into score. And I wanted to start from 0. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, there's a problem. Is that score use of unassigned local variable score? Okay, score has not been initialized. That's a problem, that I haven't initialized score. So I'm going to just initialize it. Okay. Oh, there's a problem. Array creation must have array size or array initializer. Okay, the problem is that I need to write a number here. Okay, so because I need to write a number here, I'm going to say marks.count. This should work. Okay, of course, open and close parentheses. The reason is that this is 5 size, so I need this also to be 5. Count will give me 5. And even though this index is 0 and this index is 4, but because the count of them is 5, and I put 5 here, this means that score will be an empty array with 5 variables inside of it. Okay, and this is going to start from 0. So this will basically be exactly like the clone. Okay, let's check this out if this works. Yeah, as you can see, mark, the value of mark has changed, but the value of score hasn't changed because the copy copied the values. Okay, but if I make this one size bigger and I start this from 1, what I should see is for score that the first one is 0, then the rest should be everything. Should be everything that was in marks. Okay, let's check this out. Yes. As you can see, it started copying the values from the first index that I gave it. Okay, the first one, it didn't touch the first one, and it started from here. The reason why I said +1 is that probably if the size of the array that I'm trying to copy into the other one, if the size marks is bigger than score, or it doesn't have enough space, I will get an error, okay? That's why when I omit this +1, let's see if I get an error or not. Yeah, I got the error, okay? Because there's not enough space for all of these values to be copied into score. And I'm trying to copy 5 values starting from 1. This means I need 6 spaces. But right now with count, there's only 5 spaces, and that's why I get the error, okay? So this one also works. So basically, clone, it's much better if you only want to copy. But copy too, it's very good if you want to only copy or overwrite part of the array, but not all of it. For example, I have an array of 100 variables. I want to overwrite 3 in succession. I can use the copy to. I will define an array with 3 values, and I will just copy to starting from the index that I want. So these are 2 methods, and you're going to need to decide which one is more suitable for you. Okay, let's see what else we have here for the array. We have first, which is probably the first element. Okay, very good. Get value. Okay, gets the value of the specified position in the multidimensional array. The indexes are specified as an array of 32-bit integers. Oh, so it seems that this will actually return an array of parts of the things that I want, okay? Let's check this out, actually. This seems very interesting. I'm going to say score equals marks dot get value. It was get value, right? Okay. Get value. Then here I need to give an integer, an array of indexes that I want. So new int. Oh, am I able to just write it like this? Okay, this should be possible. If it works up there, it should work also here. I want 0, 2, and 4. Okay, does it work? No. Okay, I need to probably say new int. I need to define it as an array. Okay, this seems to be working. What's the problem? Oh yeah, again, the return value of get value is an object, but this one is an int array, so I need to cast this into int array. Let's see if this works. Score should be 99, 92, and 95. No, it doesn't work. Oh, indices length does not match the array rank. Okay. As it seems that score is bigger than this. Okay. So if I define this at 3, does this work now? No, this doesn't work. Maybe I need to define 3 here. No, it doesn't work. Okay, I don't know what this problem might be. It says that indices length does not match the array rank. Okay, which means that the things that I'm trying to access doesn't work. Okay, maybe the problem is with the 4. Maybe the problem is with the 4. Let's see. I don't know what this is. Okay, so I'm going to have to look this up to see how this works. What else do we have here? Length is probably like the count. Oh, but this one is a property, so I don't need to open and close. Don't need to open and close then the parenthesis. Okay, that's maybe a little bit easier, but it should be basically the same. Marks.length. Let's check this, okay? Let's check this if the length actually works. Yeah, and I also said score. No, what was the command? Oh, the command was like this. That score is marks.clone. Okay, this was to copy the values. Oh yeah, I forgot the cast int. Okay. And here, if I write length, Let's see if it works. Length. And also here, yeah, it works. Length is so basically like the count. Okay, what else do we have? Long length is probably the same, or long count is probably the same. Max. Oh, really? Max. Returns the maximum value in a sequence of int values. Really? Does it work? Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, let's see. Console.writeLine score.max. Probably I need to open and close this because this is actually a kind of a function. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's actually returning me the maximum. Okay, so that's very interesting actually. So if this is min, does it also work? I need to. Wait, what is it? Min. Okay. Yeah, the minimum. Okay, lovely. Okay, so for marks it should be 10. Yeah, actually it works. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see what else we have. Oh, there are so many of this. Okay, I will look then this a little bit later. Oh, sum. Okay, very nice. Wow, that's great actually. That makes it so much easier. Just I don't need to iterate through and add them. I just use this command and I will have everything in it. Okay, so now I want to write a program. I want to write a very small program that I ask the user how many numbers he wants to give. Then I get them and I will put them. I want to print them in reverse order actually. Okay. But before that, if you look here, there is another possibility for enumeration, okay, or accessing the array's elements. This is what I wrote. This is what I wrote, the for I. But we have also another possibility, which is accessible with for each, okay, as you can see here. For each again is exactly like the for. I'm going to actually write it like this, that I'm going to write for the scores for each. Is that I'm going to write for each. Then I'm going to write a variable that will get the value of the member of the array. So, because the arrays are int type, I need to write int, okay, int value, for example. And now I need to specify in which array I want this to be iterated. In score, okay. Then when I open and close this, I can actually use the value itself to print out the values of the marks. So console.writeLine value, okay? And if I do this and I run this program right now, okay, you can see that the actual values of score are written, okay? The thing is, this is much more easier than this, okay? But there's a problem with the for each. The problem is you don't know in which iteration you are. For example, here, if I want to write that mark 1 is this, mark 2 is this, mark 3 is this, it's not possible in this, because I don't know in which iteration, in which mark I am. So depending if you need the I in the code or not, you can use either of these fours. The difference is, again, here, the iterator is available to us, and if I want to access the value of the array, I need to access it again through the brackets. But here, the value will be the actual values of the array. So, if I is 0, this one will be the value 99, but here, in the first iteration, value itself is going to be 99. These are the two key differences between these two. So, to write the program that I told you, okay, first I need to prompt the user to give me the number of inputs. So console.writeLine, how many, let's call them marks, okay, how many marks, okay. Then I'm going to define int mark number, okay, mark count. This is going to be the number of marks that's going to be inputted by the user. So it's going to be, I need to convert that to int. To int 62 was the integer, yeah. To int 32. Then the value inside of it is going to be console.readLine, open and close. So now I know how many marks there are going to be. Now I need to define the array. So of course I want them to be, I want to have marks with decimal points, so I'm going to define them as double, maybe, doesn't matter. Double, open and close, so that's an array. Marks equals new double. The dimension, the rank of the array is going to be mark count, of course, okay? Because I'm going to need so many marks to be inputted. Then I am going to need to iterate through the array and prompt the user to give me the marks. Because I want to write, please give mark 1 or please give mark 2, I am going to use the for so that I know in which iteration I am. Okay, so for I equals 0, I is smaller than mark count. Okay, I could use marks.length or marks.count, but because it's going to be exactly the same, so it doesn't make any difference. Okay, and the incremental value is going to be just 1. Now I'm going to write console.writeLine. I am going to write give mark, and now the number of the mark, I plus 1, plus just a colon at the end of it. And now I'm going to actually get the value from the user and put it into my variable. So marks I equals console.readLine. Okay. Oh yeah, the error is because I need to convert this. Convert that to double, because string cannot be put into a double. So I need to convert this. And now that I have converted them, so I'm going to say now I have all of the values. Now I want to print them in reverse order. So I'm going to say console.writeLine. I'm just going to put an enter command down there. The marks in reverse order. Okay. Now, because I want this to be in reverse order, but the for each is going to go through them in normal order, I can't use the for each again. I need to define it as the for loop. The first index that I want this to start is of course going to be the last one. So I need the I to begin with mark count minus 1. Minus 1 was because if I have 5, the count is going to be 5, but the last index possible is going to be 4. That's why I need to start from mark count minus 1. The escape condition is going to be I is smaller 0. 0 is still one of the possibilities, so it's only when it's smaller. And the incremental value is going to be minus 1, because I'm going to start from 4 and I just wanted to go in reverse order, for example. Okay. Now I'm going to say mark I'm going to write this in reverse order. Okay, I'm going to say mark this colon, and then I'm just going to write marks I. Okay, this should be enough. Okay, so this ought to do it. Let's check. How many marks? 6 marks. I'm going to give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to see if it works. Oh, yeah, of course we have the problem. We have forgotten to write console.read key at the end of it so that the program stays open. Okay, so 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The mark in reverse order, nothing. Okay, there is a problem here. The problem is that the escape condition is defined incorrectly. The escape condition is that this should be true, and when this is false, it will go out. The beginning, when I is 4, this condition is false. That's why it doesn't work. So we need to define this until I is greater equal 0. Now it should work. We also need the equal, because if it is still 0, the condition is true. That means that this must work. Okay, let's check it now. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, now it works. You see, I have the values in reverse order. Okay, now let's check it with random numbers: 14, 17, and 2. 2, 17, and 14. Yes, our program works. Great. So, these were the basics of working with arrays. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap this episode up. And if you did, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channels, follow me on Twitter, and also share these videos. Let's get this going. I hope that I had a little bit more subscribers up to now. But I am a little bit hoping that you are going to help me get to a larger number, so I'm going to be much more motivated to continue this series. Thank you very much for your support. I wish you a very nice day. And yes, Omechini out. Bye.